'Cause say it ain't so, I will not go. Turn the lights off, carry me home. There we go. There we go. Run away as fast as we can, because that's what we have to do. I have no idea what the stream plan is for today. I do plan on doing one run of NRR. And then, God knows what. Of course, and when I say do one run, I mean one run, you know, that's good. Which I realize is subjective, but let's say good to my standards. Oh my god, please no. And I don't know if I'm going into melee only or not. Should really go watch the run to see exactly. 7245. To see if it's viable for me. And then eventually, if I can find a copy of the game, I'll do, you know, obviously a PS2 runs. And then probably call it there. No, I won't call it there, because then I have to do a run of every category I do, which is probably going to happen in May. Maybe. I don't know. I still don't know how that's going to be viable, because it is 30 categories between 17 games or whatever, so it's gonna be like, oh lovely, that's gonna take a while. Pack the caffeine. That, for some reason, to me, felt like I was going the wrong way for half a second, and I don't know why. There we go. Just lightly going through a hell mall, you know. Just the way it has to be. Dodge, please. Thank you. There we go. Nicely done. This should work. Yay, it worked. That's what I like to see, is that things work when I want them to work. Just get past him. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You piece of fucking garbage, I hate you. I'm not resetting because you're being a fucking piece of shit, though. Because there's a good chance that somebody could be nice. Because you're a piece of shit. However, if Leonard swims, then that's a no-go. Leonard swimming? That's unacceptable. My god, the load times. Why? Why are you such trash load times? Why? Is what it is, I suppose. Just gotta keep running at this point. run as fast as I can. For reasons. Please don't hit me. Thank you. So far, so good on a lot of things. Fuck you, dude. Really? God damn it. Of all the fucking things to go wrong, am I right? Camera, please. Be nice to me. Fucking sniveling piece of shit. One, two, three. There we go. My guess is that this is going to be another like 102, 104 type thing, maybe even a 105. That's my guess anyway. Fuck you. We'll have to wait till we get to the end. We're only 2/7 of the way fucking in at this point. There we go. Time for the sewers. Let's see what the sewers will give us today. And turn. Good. think a second. Alright, not a bad turn. Could have been a little better, but you know, it's not something that I can complain about. Short turn. Short turn. Yes. I had to think about that for a second, and yeah, I do. Other than original PS2, because I don't have, like, a disc version of the PS2 version. But if I did, then that would also be played, yes. That was a really weird dryer bounce, but okay. I don't know what I was talking to at the beginning, but I was talking to something. I still prefer the PC version the most. Go. What brand costumes? There are brand costumes? The PC version has costumes. Interesting. To be fair, you can only put the costumes on New Game Extra. You can't put them on in New Game. So if your primary focus is New Game, you wouldn't be able to experience the costumes, period. I almost made a very big mistake. That's fair. Yay, a good desk bounce. Always nice to see. What the hell are you doing? I've also been kicked out of top 10 for Silent Hill Origins. I didn't realize that a new player had entered the ring, and they're currently in 3rd, which is pretty great, but unfortunately it means I'm not in top 10. I think I was 9th, and then, and now I'm 11th, which is sad, but there's nothing you can really do about that. Which is not happening because I have no reason to grind it out as I f that up. I did what I set out to do with that one. It also means that top 11 you need to get under 30 minutes. So I did what I did, and now I don't need to do nose moles with that one. I find it funny that both PS2 and HD Collection have a vocal track saying it's being invaded by the other world, but PC does not. I thought that was just something for HD Collection for some reason, but it was not. Damn it, I picked up something extra. That's fine. Yes, it was rather weird that Silent Hill 3 didn't come out on Xbox, but 2 and 4 did. Xbox even got the superior version of Silent Hill 2. Fun fact, the greatest hits version of the PS2 is actually the Xbox version. But yeah, I did find it very weird that 3 did not hit Xbox. I don't know when the PS2 like super overtook the GameCube and Xbox, but I don't think it was 2003. Because obviously the PS2 did super outsell the Xbox and Wii and GameCube, like by 3 times as much combined. son of a bitch. Yeah, because I know the GameCube died pretty quickly after the release of the Wii, and I think so did the Xbox. Whereas the PS2 lasted until 2014. I don't think people realized that the PS2 was around that long, but it finally ceased production in 2014, and it received its last game as well. I think it was FIFA 14, but only a Brazil release, I believe. I don't think it's Master System. I think it's Genesis, because for some reason they have a license to the Sega Genesis, and so they released the Genesis Model 4, which is not a real Genesis because you can't plug Genesis games into it, but it's an official Genesis. You just can't play actual Genesis games on it. It's like one of those plug and play console type things. I think, and I could be wrong, in terms of an official company still supporting console manufacturing, the Famicom is still holds the record for longest time in distribution, as that was till 2003. So from 1983 to 2003. So 20 years. And then followed by the PS2, which obviously was 2000 to 2014, so 14 years. I don't know if another console will last that long ever again. Because I think PS4s are still in production. Believe it or not, even in North America, because the Call of Duty bundle was a thing this past Christmas. I just don't think they're in rapid circulation. I think there's only like 4,000 that get sold a week or something like that, and most of them are in Japan. Although, does the 3DS still receive manufacturing? The 3DS might. Because I think 200 to 300 of those get sold a week, if memory serves me correctly. Granted, I don't know if that's being manufactured or if that's just being overstock and retailers are still counting it. Oh my fucking game. Fuck you. What the hell was that? Well, I remember so well. See, that's the funny thing, because I remember when the PS4 came out. This was back when Kaz Hirai was still the CEO of Sony. He said that the 8th console generation was going to last 10 years. Granted, we're coming up on that 10 years this year. And yes, games are still being released on the PS4. And some games are still coming out on the original, or on the Xbox One. But the consoles themselves aren't widely available. So I don't know if he was correct in that. And I also don't know if he was going to be like, and the 9th generation will bleed into that. 1, 2, 5, 6. Oh shit. Oh, I can't believe I fucked that up. It was 1, 2, 5, 6, but I only had 11, and then, god damn it, that was a ton of time loss. Oh yes, it is, you know, it turns 10 this year. The Xbox One and PS4 turn 10 this year. It's just that, you know, the consoles themselves aren't in wide circulation. And I imagine that the PS4 is probably still gonna see games till at least 2025, I want to say. Yes, and the Wii U, they killed the Wii U fast. And I mean fast, because come March 3rd, 2017, when the Switch came out, they just yeeted the Wii U into the trash. And then they're finally putting 2475. They're putting the final nail in the Wii U coffin this month, I believe, with the eShop closing. Yep. There we go. Almost time to see Leonard. I've never seen the nurses follow like that before, where they will literally run in a diagonal just to be in front of you. Never seen that. Whoops. Room number 1 complete. But yeah, it was funny because I was working for Nintendo at the time that the Christmas just before the Switch launched. And despite the fact that Nintendo had announced that they were doing the NX presentation on January 13th, 2017, the Nintendo employees that were training me and in the training session had no idea that this announcement was being made. We were supposed to like heavily push the Wii U and the 3DS sales kind of thing. And I kept asking the question, yeah, what do we do about if people ask us about the NX? Because it wasn't called the Switch yet. I don't think anybody in Nintendo Canada knew that it was going to be called the Switch. I don't even know if anybody in Nintendo of America knew that it was going to be called the Switch at that point. And, like, I guess they just brushed off the question. It was like, oh, okay. But despite the fact of... Oh, that was... Because, again, we didn't know that the NX was a thing, right? Like, we didn't know that Breath of the Wild was coming out on the NX. This was before the presentation on January 13th. Before they were like, hey, it's coming out in March and everything. So as far as anybody knew, Breath of the Wild was only coming out on Wii U, all that stuff. And again, it was more for pushing things that were already out during the Christmas season, so Breath of the Wild wasn't out during the Christmas season. There we go. Ow. Very rare get hit by that asshole happened. What games were out? There was Paper Mario Color Splash. There was Wind Waker HD, Twilight Princess HD. There was one of the Yokai watches that was out, although that wasn't Wii U, that was 3DS, because we were also going to upsell 3DS games and stuff, right? There was the I believe it was Ultra Moon and Ultra Sun at that time, too. Also, we weren't allowed to compare Yokai Watch to Pokemon. Apparently, the Pokemon Company and Level 5 hated that people were comparing the two games to each other. So we weren't allowed to bring that up or acknowledge that. Trying to think what else was on the Wii U at that point. Pokken Tournament was there as well. New Super Mario Bros. Deluxe, New Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario 3D World as well as Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. I can't actually play the original Splatoon, funny enough, because of my cerebral palsy. Why did I do that? Because of my cerebral palsy, I can't use the gamepad, so there was still a lot of games that I couldn't play on the Wii U. There were a lot more games that I could play on the Wii U than on the Wii. Wii, I could only play like 10% of the library. Wii U, I think, was like 90. Oh yes, I am aware that Splatoon 2 came out in 2017. Very much aware. That was the summer release, I believe, and then Xenoblade came out in December. The Wii U launch year was incredible. Because you had Mario Odyssey, you had Breath of the Wild, you had Xenoblade Chronicles 2, you had Splatoon 2, ARMS, you had Bomberman R, you had Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, you had... I'm trying to remember fucking everything that came out in 2017 for the Switch. Yes, you had Snipper Clips. You had Sonic Mania, but Sonic Mania came out on everything, right? So that's another thing. I think Sonic Forces as well. But again, that came out on everything. I'm talking about like stuff that you could only get on the Switch for that year. It was pretty great. I think I still have the picture of everything that was scheduled for the launch year of the Switch. Somewhere. I can pull it up after the run. I'm trying to remember what games. Let me see. When it comes to Wii U ports, what's not on there? There's Devil's Third, Wind Waker HD, Twilight Princess HD, which are both missed opportunities. They should have totally put those ports on the Switch. It's really dumb that they haven't done that yet. It's really dumb that they haven't put all the remakes on the Switch, like the 3DS ports of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, plus those things. Nintendo really dropped the ball when it came to 35th anniversaries. Like, they really, really dropped the ball with Zelda, with Metroid, because those were both last year. Or not last year, but 2 years ago. Well, you know. Yeah, but those are just the OG versions, right? I'm talking like, give me those 3DS ports with the graphics and stuff. And also, I don't think the emulator is up to snuff yet. I think the emulator still needs a little bit more time to cook. Maybe in a year, the emulator will be good. Is my hope anyway, since they keep updating the emulator with each new game release. Although I'm told GoldenEye is just in absolute shambles, so maybe they'll super fix the emulator with GoldenEye. But who knows? But still, we're missing, you know, the GameCube Zeldas with Twilight Princess and Wind Waker. Like with Mario, they were like... Even the Mario anniversary was really weird because they took down the 3D All-Stars trilogy for whatever fucking reason. That was really dumb. It's like, just keep it for sale. Same thing with the Fire Emblem thing, because they apparently had a Fire Emblem thing that they took down after a while too, and it's like, why? What is the point of this? None of this makes any goddamn sense, Nintendo. Why? Come.
This mansion is quite old. I'm so sorry. This place is just falling apart. The mechanism is broken, you see. It wasn't supposed to stop there, I assure you. There's the exit. That was supposed to be the exit. But it seems that no one wants you to leave. Everyone really likes you. They want you to
I mean, even with the Metroid games, like, you know, yeah, we got Metroid 5, but we didn't get a Metroid Prime trilogy release. We didn't get, you know, Metroid Fusion on there. Yeah, Metroid 1 and Metroid 3, aka Super Metroid, are on their respective virtual consoles. But no Metroid 2. And it's just like, it's really weird that they haven't announced that they're doing Game Boy games on the Nintendo Switch Online. And 64 is great and all, but you can't tell me that you can't do Game Boy. It's really weird that they also introduced Genesis / Mega Drive on there instead of Game Boy, because I feel like Game Boy would have done better. Oh, right, I'm in the wrong section. See, but that's also the weird thing, because there's also a Genesis collection for the Switch that has more games than the Nintendo Switch Online service does. Because there's 39 games in this Genesis collection that's on Switch, and I believe there's less than 30 in the Nintendo Switch Online. And for whatever reason, Sonic the Hedgehog 1 is not on the Nintendo Switch Online version. But you can buy Sonic the Hedgehog 1 on the eShop. It's really weird. Because apparently that version is also a mess, and also the Nintendo Switch Online version has online multiplayer, where the Xbox Series X version / Xbox version only has 4K visuals. Online play is exclusive to the Nintendo Switch. So that is why you would get the Nintendo version, so that you could play online. And you would get the Xbox version for better graphics, but apparently both versions are the fucking shits, from what I understand. And also, if you have also, I don't know how the copy of Rare Replay works, because Microsoft announced that if you have a copy of Rare Replay, you get GoldenEye for free. But I'm not sure if that includes the physical version of Rare Replay or not. I know it counts for the digital version, but I don't know about the physical version. But yeah, everybody was saying that both versions of GoldenEye need a lot of work. Is the current word about that one. Go. There's no horse to save you now, bitch. Yay! One cycle on each phase. And then 1, 2, turn. I mean, either way, I have Game Pass for another... Actually, I don't know how long I have Game Pass for. I had it for 2 years when I got my Series X. Either way, it's like a year or 11 months or some shit like that. But the great thing about the PS5 and the Xbox is that physical versus digital doesn't matter for speedruns. For the Nintendo Switch, digital matters. Because digital, specifically on the internal memory, is the fastest load time for Switch games. Funny thing about that, about the 101 version, did you know that some versions of physical games actually have the latest patch on them, depending when you buy them? There is a good chance that if you go to the store and buy a copy of Breath of the Wild right now, you will have 1.6. I just remember watching a YouTube video. I want to say a year and a half ago to 2 years ago, maybe. Yeah, it would have been about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. And they were saying how, oh, when Nintendo shuts the online service off, you're fucked because you won't have the updated version of your game. And then I think I got a physical copy of Breath of the Wild, and it automatically came with 1.6, and I was like, well, you are wrong, sir, about that. 1. However, I will say this. Whatever console Nintendo comes out with next, it better be able to play Switch games. Otherwise, people are gonna be pissed. And I mean pissed. And even if they don't want to make it a cartridge form factor, the digital versions better still work. Otherwise, again, people are gonna be pissed. You know, re-releasing all the Wii U ports makes sense. Also, Xenoblade Chronicles X was another Wii U port that wasn't ported over to Switch. Because again, Wii U kind of flopped. Though despite how bad the Wii U flopped, it actually had a lot of million game sellers, which was kind of impressive because the Dreamcast sold, you know, just as bad as the Wii U did and didn't have nearly as many 1 million sellers, 1 million plus sellers. Fun fact, by the time the Wii U died, the Wii U had more $1 million seller games than the Xbox One did at the time. Which was incredibly funny to me. Because everyone was like, oh, the Wii U was such a failure. And I'm like, then what does that make the Xbox One? Because guess what? The Wii U had more $1 million sellers. Dreamcast has a lot of great games on it. I speedrun quite a few Dreamcast games. But, yeah, what happened to the Dreamcast was criminal. It deserved better. Like, I get why they made certain decisions, like why they didn't do a DVD player, or DVD-ROM in it, because piracy concerns. Also a DVD-ROM or a DVD drive in 1998/1999 was probably pretty expensive. But also the GD-ROM thing, like having a proprietary media drive probably didn't help them. But I love the Dreamcast. So many good games on it. Cannon Spike, Ill Bleed, Resident Evil Code Veronica, which was originally supposed to be Resident Evil 3, funny enough, but Sony was like, hold the phone for a second. You promised us 3 mainline Resident Evil games, so Resident Evil 3 Nemesis became Resident Evil 3. Why they didn't just call Code Veronica Resident Evil 4, I have no idea. Because it still takes place after the events of Resident Evil 2 and 3 by 3 months. So why they didn't just call it 4 is beyond me. And then Resident Evil 4 could have become Resident Evil 5. Resident Evil 5 could have been on 6, and we'd be on Resident Evil 9 right now. But no, they just decided to call it Resident Evil Code Veronica. But whatever. Also, fun fact, there are 2 versions of Resident Evil Code Veronica on the Dreamcast. As far as I know, it wasn't all main lines. It was the first 3 mainline Resident Evil games, I think. Because also, you have to remember that Resident Evil 4 was never going to, or wasn't going to be on the PS2. Plus, nice 103.39. Plus, Resident Evil 0 didn't come out on the PS2. It didn't hit a PlayStation console till the PS3. And technically, I would count 0 as a mainline Resident Evil game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I did that right.